Sir, could you be my husband for one day? The words froze him mid-step. Luca Varrone, the man who ruled a city through fear, stood speechless before his maid. But when he learned why she asked, it changed everything. The Varrone mansion was silent that evening, the kind of silence that carried power. Shadows danced across marble floors as rain painted the windows. Every servant knew what that silence meant. When Luca Varrone was home, laughter disappeared. He was a man with a face carved from stone, a voice that didn't need to rise to be feared. Behind that calm, polished exterior was a history no one dared to mention, the story of a man who built an empire with iron, lost in bloodless precision. Yet tonight, that empire was about to tremble, not from rivals or betrayal, but from a question so human. It pierced through walls of steel. Her name was Amina Clarke. She'd been in the mansion for just under a year. Quiet, graceful, invisible in the way people of her position had to be. Her hands were always busy, folding linen, polishing glass, wiping away fingerprints from lives she'd never be a part of. But what no one saw were the calluses beneath her gloves, the kind that came from more than cleaning, the kind that came from surviving. Amina had grown up in the Southern District, where the city forgot to send its blessings. She had cared for her younger sister since she was 16, worked double shifts, and still found time to study law in night school. Her dream was simple, to one day open a shelter for women who had nowhere to go. She had no family left, no safety net, and no reason to ask anyone for help. Until now, that night, the mansion buzzed quietly with the scent of roses and candle wax. The boss was hosting an engagement dinner for his business partner's daughter, an evening of money, charm, and deceit. Amina moved through the dining hall with practiced grace, pouring wine, clearing plates, avoiding eyes. Then came the voice from behind her. Miss Clarke. A word. It was Luca. His tone was even, but heavy, the kind that made people's stomachs twist before he even finished speaking. She turned, heart pounding. Yes, sir? He studied her for a long moment. You've been distracted lately. Something wrong? Her lips parted, then closed. The question she'd been hiding pressed against her throat like a stone. She wanted to say no, to disappear back into silence, but the truth clawed its way out. Sir, she began softly, I need your help. Just for one day. Luca frowned. Help? She nodded, clutching the hem of her apron. There's a meeting tomorrow. A custody hearing for my sister's son. They won't listen to me unless I have a husband, someone respectable, someone who can show the court the boy has a stable home. Her voice trembled, not from fear, but from years of being unheard. I know it's absurd, she whispered. But please, just for one day. The room seemed to shrink. Even the chandelier's crystals still. Luca Varrone, a man who had faced guns, betrayals, and death itself, was caught off guard by one word, husband. His jaw tightened. You're asking me to walk into a courthouse and lie? Amina's voice cracked. I'm asking you to help a child stay out of the system. He's only 5, sir. They're trying to send him to foster care. He still asks when his mother's coming back. But she's gone. Her eyes glistened. But she didn't cry. I can take care of him. I just need to prove I can. Something inside Luca shifted. It was faint, like a memory he had buried deep. He saw flashes of his own childhood. A small boy watching the world tear his family apart, powerless to stop it. The same system that once looked at him and decided he wasn't worth saving. Who told you to ask me? He asked quietly. No one, Amina said. I asked because I've seen you with your son. You may scare everyone else, sir, but you protect what's yours. Her words hit him like a mirror. For a long time, Luca said nothing. Then he sighed, running a hand through his hair. Be ready at 8. He said simply, I'll pick you up. Amina froze. You'll do it? He turned toward the door. You said one day. Let's make it count. The next morning, the courthouse buzzed with cold efficiency. Amina stood in a modest gray dress, her hands trembling despite her best effort to hide it. And beside her, in a tailored black suit, polished shoes, and the calm of a lion, stood Luca Varrone. When they entered the courtroom, heads turned. The judge, the attorneys, even the social workers, all whispered. The prosecutor sneered. "Miss Clarke, you claim to be married?" To him, Luca's eyes met his with ice. "Is there a problem?" The man stammered, flipping through papers. "No, sir." Of course not. When Amina spoke, her voice was steady, calm, compassionate, grounded in truth. She spoke of her sister's death, her nephew's quiet resilience, her belief that family isn't just blood, but the love we choose. And when the judge asked if she could provide stability, Luca placed a hand on hers and said simply, "She already has." That single sentence silenced the room. When it was over, the judge nodded slowly. "Miss Clarke, the court grants you temporary custody. You've proven that love and responsibility can come from the unlikeliest of places, outside." Amina clutched the papers to her chest, tears streaming freely. "Now, thank you, sir," she whispered. "You didn't have to," Luca interrupted softly. "You were right, about what?" He looked down at her, a rare warmth flickering in his eyes. "About protecting what's mine. That boy, he's part of your family now. That makes him part of mine, too." Weeks turned into months. Luca visited often, quietly helping without ever admitting it. He had people deliver groceries, pay medical bills, even arrange schooling for the child, all under her name and Amina. She never asked for anything more. She worked, cared for her nephew, and smiled again. One evening, Luca found her on the porch, reading to the boy under the sunset glow. "You kept your word," she said softly. "Just one day." He smiled faintly. "Some days change everything, Amina." Months later, the boy ran to Luca's car, laughing, clutching a drawing, a family of 3. He pointed at it proudly. "This is us." Luca looked at Amina. For a man who built his world on fear, he suddenly realized he'd been protecting the wrong things all along. He crouched to the boy's level. "You drew that?" The child nodded. "Mama says heroes come in all colors." Luca smiled. "She's right. Sometimes strength isn't in power, but in the moment someone says, please. And sometimes the coldest hearts melt, not through force, but through the quiet bravery of kindness. Comment below. Would you have had the courage to ask for help? Tell us where you're watching from and share this story. If you believe love can change even the hardest hearts, subscribe for more stories that remind us real power isn't in fear. It's in compassion.